The woman who almost destroyed your calling isn't who you think she is. She wasn't reckless. She wasn't a bad person. She didn't come in with red flags waving. She came in quietly. She felt safe. She felt like rest. And that is exactly what made her dangerous. Chosen ones don't get derailed by the obvious. They get derailed by the almost right. By the woman who is close enough to feel like God's plan, but far enough to cost you years. The enemy doesn't need to destroy you. He just needs to redirect you. And the right woman in the wrong season is still the wrong woman. Stay with me, because reason 5 is the one that's operating in your life right now, and you won't recognize it until we name it. These are the 5 types of women that men with a calling keep gravitating toward, and the real reason God keeps moving them out of your path. This isn't about judgment. This isn't about blame. This is about discernment. And discernment is just love with a spine. Reason 1, the woman who needs you to stay small. She loves you, let's be clear about that, but she loves you most when you aren't growing too fast. Every time God starts moving in your life, she finds a reason to slow down. Every time a door opens, she has a question about whether you should walk through it. Every time you level up, something between you gets uncomfortable. It doesn't come out as opposition. It comes out as concern. It comes out as, "Are you sure?" And "What about us?" And "I just don't want you to get hurt." But underneath that concern is fear. And her fear, if you let it, will become your ceiling. Proverbs 27:17 says, "Iron sharpens iron." If she's softening you instead of sharpening you, she's not your iron. She is your lid. A chosen one needs a woman who can hold the weight of his becoming, not one who needs him to stay the same so she feels secure. Here's how you know her. After time with her, you feel smaller. You start questioning what God told you in private. You start editing the vision before you even speak it out loud. That is not love. That is limitation wearing the face of love. You were built to expand. You cannot expand inside a relationship designed to contain you. Reason 2, the woman who drains without depositing. Every conversation ends the same way. She leaves lighter. You leave heavier. She doesn't come to connect or to build. She comes to release. And at first, you feel honored to be her safe place. That is the trap, because over time, safe place becomes the only place. She recycles the same crisis week after week. She listens to every solution and finds a reason it won't work. She avoids accountability the way water avoids an uphill slope. And you keep showing up because you love her, because you believe in her, because you think if you just say the right thing, she'll turn the corner. She won't. Not like this. Matthew 14:23. After ministering to thousands, Jesus withdrew to pray. Not because he lacked compassion, because he understood that even infinite love must be governed by wisdom. Even he protected his access. A real partner adds to your capacity. She does not simply consume it. If every interaction is a withdrawal and never a deposit, you are not in a relationship. You are running a charity, and a man running on empty cannot run his assignment. Compassion without boundaries becomes captivity, and captivity is just a slower way of being stopped. You've seen the woman who keeps you small and the woman who empties you out. The next 3 are harder to spot because they don't look like problems. They look like answers. They look like blessings, and that is what makes them the most costly of all. Reason 3, the woman who makes you earn her peace. This one is quiet. That's the point. She doesn't explode. She disappears. She goes cold. She withdraws just enough that you can feel it, but not enough that you can name it. And so you spend your energy trying to close the gap, trying to say the right thing, trying to perform your way back into her warmth. You stop saying what God told you to say because it might upset her. You stop moving the way God told you to move because it might threaten her. You stop being who you were called to be and start being who she needs you to be in order to feel safe. Galatians 1:10. If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. A man managing someone else's mood cannot manage his mission. These two things cannot coexist. Guilt is not conviction. Conviction strengthens and clarifies. Guilt weakens and controls. If you feel like you are always one wrong move away from losing her, that is not a relationship. That is an audition with no end date. You need a partner whose peace is rooted in God, not one whose peace is dependent on your constant performance. Reason 4. The woman who celebrates you publicly and resents you privately. She's in the room when you win. She applauds. She posts the right things. But alone, something shifts. When God promotes you, she gets quieter. When you grow, she finds something to critique. When the blessing comes, there's a moment, brief but real, where something in her flinches, not because she's evil, but because she hasn't yet dealt with the gap between where you are going and where she feels stuck. Proverbs 27:6. Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. A real partner's love grows when God grows you. She doesn't feel smaller when you expand. She feels more connected to what God is doing. A jealous ally can only love you within the limits of her own unresolved insecurity, and the cost to you is real. You will begin to dim, not because anyone told you to, but because you can feel the discomfort of outgrowing the room, and you'll shrink to manage it. You are not required to diminish what God lit to protect someone else's comfort. Jealousy does not leave because you stay kind. It leaves when access is removed. Preservation is not pride, it is wisdom. 4 types, 4 different ways real men with real callings have lost real time. But this last one, this is the one sitting in your life right now, because it doesn't look like a warning, it looks like a gift. Reason 5, the woman who is good, but not God's best. This is the one that costs the most, because she is the hardest to leave. She's not toxic. She doesn't drain you or dim you or manipulate you. She might genuinely love God. She might genuinely love you. She might be good in almost every way you can measure, but she is not the woman He assigned to your assignment. She keeps you comfortable enough that you stop pressing in. She keeps you satisfied enough that you stop seeking. She keeps you busy with something good, so you never have the urgency to complete the great thing. And comfortable is the slowest way to miss everything God had for you. The enemy doesn't need to destroy a chosen one. He just needs to make him content with almost. Almost the right woman. Almost the right season. Almost where God told him to be. Almost is where assignments go to die quietly. Every yes to the wrong person is a no to the right assignment. Every year spent in almost right is a year not spent in exactly right. James 4:8 says, "Draw near to God and He will draw near to you." That command is personal. It is not transferable. Your partner, who you choose, who you give your time to, who you build your life with, is one of the most powerful expressions of your proximity to God you will ever make. Choose wrong and you slow the assignment. Choose aligned and you accelerate it. The woman God has for you will not compete with your calling. She will carry it with you. She won't need you to shrink. She will know what you're building before you finish explaining it. And the moment you meet her, you'll realize just how much energy you were spending managing all the wrong ones. This message was never about becoming hard. It was about becoming clear.